guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel and a big happy new year to you all. First video of 2019, I was kind of umming and ahhing about what I should film, like should I just do outfits, should I do makeup, but I'm gonna be honest with you all, I have been pretty unhuman up until this morning, which is the 3rd, which is when I'm filming this video, because I completely wrote myself off on New Year's Eve. I was so drunk, quite possibly the most drunk I've been all year, but that's fine, I saved it for the last day of 2018. And yeah, literally, like, I was so that person between Christmas and New Year that just did not know their name or what day it was or anything. So I really took the time off and I thought, okay, I'm gonna film a video, but I just, you know, I wasn't really in the headspace of planning anything. So I decided that I would share with you guys some of my New Year's resolutions for 2019, and I would also talk about a New Year's resolution that I made last year in 2018, which sounds dramatic, but it really has changed my life. So get yourself comfortable, grab yourself a cup of tea, cup of coffee, a beer, a glass of wine, whatever you feel like drinking, you know. No judgment here, and we will have a chat. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the thing that changed my life throughout 2018. So a lot of you probably will have heard of this. It was something that was brought to my attention at the end of 2017, and it is The Secret, which is a book. It's a self-help book actually, and it is all about the laws of attraction and positive thinking and how it can really change your life. Now, I'm not gonna lie, when I was first told about this, and if you haven't heard about it, you'll probably be thinking the same thing, that it kind of sounded like a load of crap. I was like, I'm really sorry, but just by changing the way I think, my life is not just gonna change. And boy, was I wrong. So I was in a really bad place in 2017 and was determined that in 2018 I was not going to feel the way I felt throughout 2017. And so that is why I wanted to film this video, because if there is any of you that feel like, you know, not necessarily that you're really upset or you're really down, or but you just don't feel like you got enough out of 2018, or you spent a lot of it feeling a little bit negative, or that, you know, you felt like you just could have achieved a bit more, then I really wanted to share this with you. If you've heard of The Secret, then you can kind of skip past this bit, because I'm just going to go over basically what it is. But it is basically this big historical thing that apparently has been around for ages, all about the laws of attraction and how if you have a positive mindset, then positive things will basically come to you. So it's kind of like what you give out is what you get back. And I would recommend reading the book 100%. If you haven't got it, do buy it. You only need to read like the first 2 chapters, because I think that they kind of repeat itself. It's like they say the same thing but like worded differently throughout the book. But yeah, I think it's definitely worth reading, just like the first half of the book for sure. So the reason that I think it personally really changed my life is because it basically states that if you really genuinely believe in something, or that something is going to happen, it will happen. And I cannot begin to tell you how much that became apparent in my life in 2018. It's even really silly things like how I was convinced up until 2018 that I was never going to meet anyone, that I was going to be alone for the rest of my life, and it was just how I was meant to be. But that was my way of thinking. But I changed my outlook on that, and, you know, had a bit more of a positive vibe towards meeting someone, and Joe came into my life. I know this might sound crazy to a lot of you, but when you have put this into practice and things start happening a lot, it does begin to feel like you are almost controlling the way that things happen to you. It also plays a big part, I think, in work and like your career and the path that you take, which is why I think it's important to kind of put it into action at the beginning of the year to really make the most of it. So I'm very lucky to be in the position that I am in with my career and how it's evolved over the past 5 years that I've been doing it. But with a more positive mindset, I have felt like I've got more out of my career. I believe that I'm gonna do well, and I really believe that things are gonna work out for me. And because of that, and because I'm in that mindset, things have just started to naturally kind of come together. And especially all the plans and things that I've been putting into action in 2018, all the results of that will be coming out in 2019, which is really exciting, and I cannot wait to share them with you all. But you'll find that out in a few months' time, I'd say. One thing that I think has definitely helped me by having a more positive outlook is to see the positive in every single situation. So obviously, you know, things do go wrong and things might not go the way you want them to go, but instead of dwelling on it and seeing it as a really bad thing and like focusing on the negatives, I have now become the sort of person that finds a positive in every single situation. So, you know, if something's going wrong, I'll either find it and just think, right, that was a lesson and I've learned something from it and I won't do that again, or I will remove certain people or certain things from my life that maybe have caused a negative impact, instead of just thinking, oh my god, this is the worst thing ever, and just dwelling on it, which is just the worst thing you can do, really, and it will just set you up in a negative space, really. It's kind of like the best example that you can give is that if you wake up in the morning and you might get to the end of the day and you just like, god, that was a bad day, everything went wrong, I just had the day from hell. But when you actually think about it, it's because you woke up, let's say it was something really stupid, like you woke up and you tripped up and you stubbed your toe, and then you get really angry and you feel a bit frustrated, and then, I don't know, you walk into the bathroom and you spill your moisturizer everywhere, and then you just get really wound up and you're just stressed. You then go downstairs and, you know, you're a bit huffy, so you want to leave the house and you want to get to work, but you can't find something because you're in a stress, and you then end up getting in the car and you're late. So you're then rushing to work, and who knows, you might get a speeding ticket on the way because you've been speeding, because you really need to get there on time. And then when you get into work, just everything kind of, it snowballs from there and things just start going wrong. And that is because you started the day and continued the day in a really negative mindset, and you were attracting negativity, basically. So instead now, I mean, don't get me wrong, things still happen to me and I'm like, ugh, but instead I'll just almost laugh and I'll be like, oh well, moving on, it's not the end of the world. You know, you just kind of leave it there and you move on from it, basically. So that, I think, is one thing that is really important to take away from this video, is that like something small that happens is not the end of the world and it cannot impact the rest of your day. So if you try and stay as positive as you possibly can, then most of your days will have a positive end to them and you'll just think that was a really good day. So basically, to kind of sum up The Secret, which obviously, if you read the book, it will make so much more sense than the way I'm explaining it, because it is hard to explain because it's such a weird concept. It all talks about like gut feelings and how, you know how someone's like, oh, I had such a bad gut feeling about that. It's basically saying that your gut feeling is actually the universe trying to tell you to not do something, or the universe kind of pushing you in a direction. You know how they say always go with your gut? That is basically, they're saying that that is the universe leading you to the place you should be. And ever since I got really into it, I actually think, do you know what, that makes so much sense, because why do we get a gut feeling? Like, why do we have that thing that is telling us that something is right or wrong? Kind of the one thing I'd say that you can take away from this, if you don't really want to read the book, you just want to kind of understand a positive way of thinking, a positive mindset, and The Secret a little bit more, is that, you know, so instead of phrasing things like, I don't know, this will never work, or why can't I do this, or I'll never find someone, you know, starting out with a negative, think like, okay, I'm gonna do this, it might take me longer than I want it to, but at the end of the day I'm gonna get it done. Or for example, I will find someone, they will just come into my life at the right time, but right now I'm just gonna enjoy life and, you know, enjoy being alone, because there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And just things like that. So as long as, you know, if you ever have a negative thought come into your mind, try and twist it around and think, right, what's the positive actually out of this situation? And I honestly feel like your whole life will just be transformed. Okay, so now going on to my 2019 New Year's resolutions, which are, I actually wrote them down, how sad am I have them on a notes page. I feel like it's quite good to write down your New Year's resolutions. Just keep them on your phone, just so you can kind of make sure, one, you don't forget them, and also you can keep going back and just checking that, you know, just a bit of a reminder. Kind of use them as a bit of a positive boost to be like, this is what I wrote down and this is what I will achieve, kind of thing. My first one, which is a number one, like really want to make this a thing in 2019, is don't sweat the small stuff. So like by that I mean, it might be something really stupid, like might even just be something for me. For example, for me personally, is I might get a really horrible comment on social media that actually might really affect me for like a few days, but at the end of the day, I don't need to worry about that. It's not going to affect my life in however many years time. You know, it's something that's so irrelevant that I don't need to worry over. There are bigger things that I need to worry about than things like that. I think the best way to actually describe that is that, I think it was a quote that Drake said, I think, and it is, if it's not going to matter in 5 years, then don't spend more than 5 minutes worrying about it. And I actually think that's just the best thing to live by, because think about it, like how many times a day do you worry about something that actually is not going to matter, let alone in 5 years, but probably not in the next like 5 hours. So I'm going to really focus on that this year. My next New Year's resolution is to be better at communication. I don't know about you guys, but I am probably the worst person at texting back and replying out of anyone I know. And I'm not even meaning to do it to be rude. I'm so bad. I will read something and just not think I've replied to it. It's not like I'm like, oh, I've replied to it, but I just forget, and then I'll move on to something else. And because I'm just so busy all the time, I just forget to do things, and I don't want my lack of communication to be like detrimental towards relationships. So like, for example, I have friends that I will go months without speaking to because I've forgotten to reply to their message, and I hate that about myself. Like, I hate that I'm so bad at replying to them. So that's my 2019 resolution, is to be better at replying, communicating, and even just little things like texting someone that you've not spoken to in a while and just being like, hey, how are you, what's new, kind of thing. And also with work as well, not necessarily that it's not because I don't reply straight away, but I'm such a sweep it under the rug and forget about it until I really need to deal with it kind of person. Like, I will bury my head in the sand and ignore something until the very point where it needs to be sorted, and sometimes it's too late, or I've caused more of an issue than there needed to be. I'm so bad. So that's something that really needs to change in 2019. The other thing I want to do in 2019 is be a little bit more proactive. I think that I do obviously get things done, but quite slowly. I think that I could be a lot more, I could be getting things done a lot quicker, and that way I'd be a lot more productive than maybe I was in 2018. I feel like I had a really good year, and I had one of the best years of my life, actually. It was really fun, but I don't know how productive I actually was, if that makes sense. So I want to make sure that in 2019 I'm productive and proactive and, get shit done, basically, so that by the end of 2019 I can be like, do you know what, I achieved so much this year. And then lastly, which is probably such a stereotypical goal, but it is to get fit and healthy. I feel like that has been my goal. That's been my New Year's resolution every year for as long as I can remember. But I think I've spoken about this before in some of my vlogs, I have such a better understanding and mindset towards fitness and eating and all that kind of stuff than I ever have done before. So I have this feeling that this year might be the year that I'm actually truly happy with myself. I want to be fit and healthy, but also in my mind as well as my body, because I feel like when you feel great inside, you just feel that also helps to making you feel better as well. It's not just always about how you look on the outside, it's how you feel inside. So yeah, so I'm gonna be sharing a lot actually about my kind of fitness health goals. I have been doing, for the last 4 weeks I think it was, before the new year, I was doing Equalation, which is run by 2 Aussie girls who set up this kind of like, basically it was a website to really help, a website or an Instagram to really help people understand what they're eating and what they're putting in their body, and how, trying to just basically to get people to stop being scared of eating things that are classified as bad, when actually they're not bad for you. It's just if you eat too much of something, it's then bad for you. Do you know what I mean? So you can buy meal plans through them. So that's what I did. I bought myself a 6-week one, which I'm obviously still on at the moment, and I just feel so much better. I feel like I've lost weight. I have lost weight from like weighing myself and measurements and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm gonna carry it on into 2019, and I'm gonna do an 8-week one next, which I'm gonna share on my socials and Instagram and all that kind of stuff. By the way, this isn't sponsored. I feel like I'm talking about it like it's sponsored now. It's not. I'm just sharing it with you. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing, and I want to take you guys along as well, because I feel like it's always helpful when you see someone else doing it. It motivates you, and we can do it together. We can get fit and healthy together. So yes, they are my 2019 New Year's resolutions, and also just a little bit of motivation and a bit of an insight into maybe a bit of more of a positive outlook if that's something that you feel like you haven't needed in your life. Anywho, that is my first video of 2019, and I promise you guys, I'm gonna be so good at uploading on YouTube this year. You're not gonna know what to do with yourselves. That actually was one of my New Year's resolutions, but I don't even want to write that down because I'm just going to smash it. It's just going to happen. And also, I don't want to alarm anyone, but the next video I upload is going to be my house tour. I know, finally. So I've been living in this house since March. We are January. So we didn't quite make it a year. So, you know, it wasn't actually a full year. I just, you know, I like to cut things close. As I said, I just put things away until they absolutely need to be done. So anyway, that is what I'm coming back with next time. So you'll finally be able to find out where everything is from and everything else is in my house. Yeah, so that will be the next video. But thank you so much for watching this one. Let me know below any of your New Year's resolutions. I'd love to know what you guys are kind of planning on smashing in 2019. But I will see you all in my next video. Bye, guys.